Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into something really essential for anyone building software these days, performance testing, specifically within a DevOps setup.
That's right. It's a big one. Because, in today's world, apps need to be fast, reliable. It's not just about features anymore.
Exactly. It's got to work well, especially under pressure. So our mission today is really to unpack how you can build this testing right into your workflow to avoid those, potential disasters.
Yeah, make it less scary, more integrated, less of an afterthought.
Okay, let's start at the beginning then. When we say performance testing, what are we actually measuring? What's the core idea?
Fundamentally, you're looking at three main things. Speed, how fast does it feel? Stability, does it fall over when lots of people use it? And scalability, can it handle growth, like sudden spikes in traffic?
So it's answering questions like, is this thing quick enough?
Exactly. Or what happens if we get slammed with users? Will it cope? That kind of thing.
Right. And you mentioned disasters. Can you maybe paint a picture? Like, what happens if you don't do this properly?
Oh, easily. Imagine you've launched, say, a fantastic new online shop. Everyone's excited. Marketing's done its job. Black Friday hits.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And suddenly, the site just crawls. Or worse, it crashes completely because the servers are overloaded. Nobody can buy anything.
That's not good. Lost sales, angry customers.
Precisely. Negative reviews, damage to your brand's reputation. It's the kind of nightmare scenario performance testing is designed to prevent. It really erodes trust if the app isn't reliable when people need it most.
Makes total sense. Okay, so how does this fit with DevOps? Because the DevOps is all about moving fast, lots of releases, automation.
Exactly, and that's the core tension. Traditional performance testing was often this huge manual effort done right at the end, weeks of work sometimes.
Right, like a big final exam.
Yeah, but that just doesn't work when you're pushing updates multiple times a week or even daily. It becomes a massive bottleneck.
So the old way just breaks in a DevOps world. What's the fix?
The key idea is shift left. You have to pull performance testing much, much earlier into the development cycle.
Shift left. So test sooner.
Test sooner and automate it. It needs to become part of your regular build and deployment process, your CI/CD pipelines, not this separate late-stage panic.
So it's continuous, like everything else in DevOps.
It has to be. Think of it like installing a speedometer while you're building the car, not just testing it once it's finished.
Ah, I like that analogy. You're checking the performance as you build each part.
Exactly. You get constant feedback on how changes are affecting performance throughout the whole process.
Okay, so if we want to install that speedometer, what kind of tools are we talking about? What's in the toolkit for DevOps performance testing?
Well, there are quite a few good ones out there now. Apache JMeter is probably the veteran. Open source, really flexible. You can script almost anything.
Right, I've heard of JMeter. What else?
Then there's Gatling. It's quite popular with developers. Uses Scala, very code-centric approach. K6 is a newer player, very modern, JavaScript-based, really good for CI/CD integration, kind of cloud-native focused.
Cloud native, okay. That sounds relevant for a lot of teams.
Definitely. And Locust is another one, Python-based. Great if you want to write your load test purely in Python code. Artillery is also worth mentioning, quite lightweight, easy to plug into pipelines.
Lots of choice then, and for bigger companies.
Yeah, for larger enterprises, you still have tools like Neoload and LoadRunner offering, more extensive features, reporting, support, that kind of thing.
And fundamentally, what do all these tools do?
They simulate users, lots of them. Hitting your application, testing APIs, basically putting the system under controlled stress.
So they pretend to be hundreds or thousands of users all clicking at once.
Exactly. And then they measure what happens response times, how many errors pop up, how much load the servers can handle, and they generate reports so you can see the bottlenecks.
Okay, got it. Now the crucial part, how do we actually wire these tools into our CI/CD pipelines? Where does it fit in the flow?
Right. You can sprinkle it in at different stages. Even before a main release, maybe run some quick smoke tests on critical APIs in your CI build. Just check the basic response times haven't gone crazy.
Like a quick health check.
Yeah, exactly. Then, definitely within the main CI/CD flow, say you're using Jenkins or GitHub Actions, after a build and deploy to a staging environment.
You trigger a test automatically.
Yes. Automatically kick off a performance test script using JMeter, K6, whatever, and you set thresholds.
Thresholds. Like path-fail criteria.
Precisely. You define what's acceptable. Maybe average response time for login must be under 1 second, or the error rate can't exceed 0.5%. if the test fails those criteria.
The pipeline stops. The build fails.
Correct. It fails the build, alerts the team. Bad performance stops the release before it gets to users. That's the key. And then even post-deployment, running tests in staging or a production-like environment helps establish baselines and monitor drift.
So it becomes an automated gatekeeper for performance. Can you give a really concrete example, like in Jenkins?
Sure. Imagine Jenkins deploys the latest code to the staging server. The next step in the pipeline automatically runs a JMeter test plan, simulating, say, 500 users browsing products. If that test shows the average page load time jump from 1.5 seconds to 3 seconds.
Jenkins flags it.
Yep. Jenkins marks the build as unstable or failed, sends a notification. The team knows immediately there's a performance regression before it hits production. No manual intervention needed.
That really brings it home. It's baked right in. I think you mentioned a fintech app scenario, too.
Yeah, think about a fintech app releasing maybe a new loan application feature. Their automated pipeline could simulate, let's say, 1,000 users trying to apply for a loan simultaneously.
Okay, hitting it hard.
Right. And during that test, it's measuring API response times, database load, server CPU, memory usage, collecting all that data.
And if it passes.
If all the numbers look good, stay within their targets, their service level objectives or SLOs, then they can deploy to production with much higher confidence. They know it can handle the expected load.
And the flip side, if they didn't test,
they might push it live, users start applying, and suddenly the back-end APIs slow down, maybe transactions fail halfway through.
Resulting in very unhappy customers and lost business.
Exactly. People trying to get a loan, facing errors. That's incredibly frustrating and damaging. Performance isn't just a technical metric. It's fundamental to the user experience, especially in finance.
Absolutely critical. So for listeners thinking, okay, I need to do this better, what are the key best practices for performance testing in DevOps?
Number one, definitely, is start early. We keep saying shift left, but it's true. Don't wait until the end.
Makes sense. What else?
Test your APIs first. Often UI slowness is actually caused by slow back-end APIs. Get those right.
Good point. Focus on the foundation.
And monitor trends. Don't just rely on a single test run. Track performance over time, build by build, sprint by sprint. See how it's changing.
So you spot degradation gradually, not just big bangs.
Exactly. Also, define your targets early. What are your SLAs, your SLOs? Like 95% of login requests must complete in under 1.5 seconds. Have clear goals.
Gives you something concrete to test against.
Right, and collaboration is huge. Dev, test, ops, everyone needs visibility into performance. It's a shared responsibility.
Not just throwing it over the wall to a performance team.
Definitely not. And finally, try to include some performance testing in every single sprint. Make it routine.
Make it part of the rhythm of development. Okay, that's a great list. So pulling this all together, what's the main thing you want people listening to take away?
I think the biggest thing is that performance testing isn't, a nice to have anymore in DevOps. It's absolutely essential. It's your early warning system.
For ensuring speed, stability, reliability.
All of that. Integrating it into your CI/CD pipeline helps catch problems before they impact users, before they become expensive emergencies.
And as we heard, tools like JMeter, K6, Gatling, they make the automation part much more achievable now.
They really do.
Yeah.
So maybe the actionable takeaway for you listening is this. Don't try to boil the ocean. Just start somewhere.
Start small.
Yeah. In your next sprint or for your next feature, try adding one basic load test to your pipeline. Maybe test one critical API. See what you learn.
Measure something simple first.
Exactly. Get that first data point, understand it, and then build from there. Iterate and improve. It's far better than doing nothing until it's too late.
Fantastic advice. Start small, get it automated, and build it into your regular process. Thanks so much for this really insightful deep dive today.
My pleasure. It's a crucial topic. Glad we could cover it.